I'm working. I just thought about it. I know some people asked for a Zoom call, so I'm about to put that into my calendar because this is actually a perfect time for me to do a Zoom, maybe in 2 weeks in November. So I'm going to write down this time now because this is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. And then for me, I know what time it is. This is actually a perfect time for me to do that. Hello, everybody. What's up? How you doing? I am definitely repping Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. It is homecoming. Just shout outs to all the HBCUs and all the homecoming love. There's so much going on and respect. So much going on that probably nobody is going to check in, and that is just okay. So I was going to tap in, tap in, tap in, but tap in for just a quick moment briefly, because this reoccurring theme is coming up. And you know how you want to address something, but then you don't want to call people out, but it needs to be said. But I've been said it, but I might have to say it again. So that's kind of where we are. And it's really like, what's this one thing people need to relocate? And I almost titled this something different, like almost titled it like "You Won't Survive in Africa Without" or whatever else like that. But I felt like that was too clickbaitish, and I just really, really wanted to turn around and say. So I'm going to jump right into the point. If you're here, go ahead and say something in the comments because this is a conversation. But baby, I cannot stress and say it enough. I cannot stress and say it enough that you have absolutely no business trying to relocate, trying to move to the continent, trying to move downtown, but trying to move if you haven't secured a method of income. Period. You have no business thinking it, considering it. Um, It can be on your vision board. Like I can give you, it can be on your vision board. But if you are actively planning a plane ticket and you are looking at houses and you're shopping around and you haven't secured a monthly income, you are going about this entire thing totally wrong. And the only exception I would give is like, let's say, well, you saved $100,000. Okay. Because what I would turn around and do is like, if you came in with this big savings amount, I would still budget out myself a monthly income out of my retirement money or whatever. But you have no business. You have no business. Can I say that? No business. Like, go ahead, get mad. You have absolutely near none. And yeah, I'm about to go ahead and get militant. So forgive me. I personally feel um that it is, I'm picking my words right. We talk all the time about how dare them put these images in our head. We are coming from kings and queens. We are doing all these things and we are going to decolonize our mind. And I 100% agree. But if you are coming to Africa and you think that you can get, like you can have $500 and you could become a king or queen or millionaire, that to me is still a brainwashed mindset in such a negative piece. So no, you don't think there were savages out here, but you think that the cost of living is so low that you can get over and overcome. Like, dude, that is the most disrespectful thing. In fact, how can you turn around and say we are kings and queens and you think that we're living for pennies on the penny? Like, I do, I'm going to get personal. I look at you a certain type of way because while you're talking in an elitist tone, what you're really understanding is saying that you do believe everybody's poor and in huts, and you want to take your little bit and make it much. No, in fact, if you pay attention to anything, and when you talk about people who are really talking about investing in Africa or coming to Africa, when you hear your acons and everything else like that, what they're telling you is you can bring what you have. pay attention what you have, and through proper business channels, whatever, you can multiply it. There's still work that must be done. And so, no, you can't come. You cannot be an investor and you ain't even got enough to be in. And investing is super hard. It's super hard. It's not easy. And unfortunately, I have found out the hard way through hope. But it's not an easy thing to do. And it is a gamble. It is a gamble. And so you have to really be tied into the ground here. You have to be tied into people who are competent and capable. You have to be tied into um, digging in and learning questions to ask. But if I just go back on the first end, you have to be able to have a supply. I have like it's not even off my chest yet. I want to say I had to get that off my chest. It's not off my chest yet. Elder, thank you so much for saying it. I believe you should plan first, spy out the land, basically do your research, period. And let me say, research is not Instagram. Like research is constant. Like I am still constantly doing research and I'm going into year three. In fact, I got 24-hour countdown until year three here in Africa in Rwanda. So to everybody. But the planning, like it's let me stop and say it's really hard to oh, I really got it now. It's really hard to plan how much money because you're trying to get that dollar amount. But the key thing is you should already be doing the action. If you currently have a salary, and I learned this the hard way. I learned this the hard way. But if you currently have a salary and you are living on 100% of your salary, you're not ready. You already need to be in a situation where you know how to take 30% and put to the side, 30% and invest 30%. Like you already have to know how to budget and live within a means. And if you can't do that, you're not going to be successful out here because there is such a ownership you have to do with your funds. And it's the same thing as like adulting. It's the same thing as just adulting authentically. But you have to be such a steward because you know um, that this is an unknown. So you just don't know everything to happen. So it just goes back to first things first. And I say it again because get whatever it is that's off my heart. It is absolutely close to insane to come out here and bring people who depend on you and you don't have finances coming in. I think it's absolutely one thing for you to go off and take a journey and trek and figure it out. But if you have people who are dependent upon you, you can't do it. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. And like literally we know, like we've been in this game for a long time. We've seen a lot of people who go start documenting their progress on YouTube and everything else like that, and then they're there for 2 years to 3 years and say, whoa, I'm going to have to take a step back. We have to go back and regroup. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is not failing. That's not anything. It's learning. That is part of the research that we're talking about. That you get a taste of it and go. I will not lie to you. I'm probably two checks away from being where they are. And my tenacity right now is using the next act like using next but using the next year to 2 years to really build an income based here while keeping an income based there. Like it is a juggling game. So there's nothing where I'm going hard at other people, but I have to speak truth to truth. Okay? You cannot get rid of everything and have nothing coming in and come out here and starting from nothing in here. Like, it's so hard. I'm looking like I'm with you. I'll watch the Woe to Maya videos where people were like, I was homeless and then I became here, or da 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 and came here. And 9 times out of 10, majority of those people have a connection. They have a connection, or in their story, something happened, but everything that happened came in with capital. Like, oh, y'all could tell I've been watching all the television day. Like, you came in with capital. And so you have to have capital in order to build. It doesn't work any other way. And so what we have to do is come in, and we have to understand, number one, our mindsets are not in a position, majority. Okay, I'm going to come from me. Some people are. If you are doing business and your capital already in the States, cool. All you have to do is adjust your game plan. All you have to do is figure out your new market. All you have to do is turn around and figure out your product. That's a different thing. But if you did not run a business, if you did not turn around and do things, like I was not in agriculture before, I have to understand I am coming in as a novice. I'm coming in ignorant. And so if I'm going to tap in and get into this market, I have to be humble to know, I have to be able to learn, I have to be able to mess up. And I have, baby. I have to be able to financially say, ooh, that was some bad decisions, regroup and do all that stuff. At the same time, I have a stream of income that I can use to turn around and do that. I'm not coming in with my own hopes and dreams. I am constantly working, and part of my personal income, I'm using a certain amount for the investments. And technically, if you listen to some of the financial gurus, like you're supposed to be living off of 30% technically, but it's like 80 20 20, no, 60 20 20. But you're supposed to invest like 20%. And that 20% that you're invested could be in real estate, it could be in stocks, it can be such and such. So, like, that's my investment. I'm investing in me. And so it's a little screwed with my numbers, but what I'm telling you is, period, point blank, there is a plan. And I actually know, like, this is my fail safe, this is my red flag, this is my I can't do this no more, this is, that, versus this is that, other things. And like, all the blessings that I've had are blessings, because I just feel like, for me, there's something greater working in play. And I can say this from a non-ego stance, because some people say there's something greater at play, but you're coming in from your ego. You're coming in from your ego. um, I'm not. Am I? No, I'm gonna not be lie to you. I have a little ego in it. I have a little ego in it. Let me come in here. Good morning. Yes. And you're right. I agree with everything you're saying. But remember, we Virgos are thinkers and planners, A, B, C, and D already, cousin. And I have not forgotten about the E, F, and G. Yes, you're right. And so I think that I'm trying to, as a Virgo, please, and also be able to be like, I told you so. Like, checkmate 10/31/22 at 1 o'clock a.m. Jay Essence said, get your money right. And it's actually two things. It's like, just get your money. But here's the key to thing. If you get your money right, you can get your mindset right. And if you get your money right, like, that should be the practice that's happening now while you can bump your head. Um, Literally, for the past year, it hasn't clicked for me until almost this month, but for the last year, I have been fighting myself over and retraining on how I look at money, how I deal with finances, how how just because you did something good, let's go out and eat and celebrate. No. Like, those little things, because all those things calculate and mean something. And everything means something. And you have to become one with you on what your money habits are and everything else like that. All that to say is, if you don't do that work, because that's one of our sicknesses, right? When we talk about how, the West, with the westernized, we don't realize how westernized we are when it comes to money. We don't realize how dependent we are on credit. Like, there's no credit system out here. This is a cash system. If you want to build a house out here, you're going cash. If you're really trying to get like a mortgage or something like that, you're paying like 16 to 18%, which means that you're paying for not planning. And it's doable, but you're going to pay for that additional cost. And there's a lot of, to me, abandoned buildings that are halfway built, but money ran out. And there's times where you could talk to most of the people who are in business, not talking about business, are in business, where something was supposed to be built, it was built incorrectly, and that person's going to try to charge you to build it or fix it. Or let me stop, you have to pay additional money to fix it because it's dead wrong. And then, well, number one, number two, number three, that puts you in such a tight space because if you have somebody, like, what do you do? Do you make them go back and redo it when they did it wrong the first time? Like, it's just so much, and you have to be able to have the wherewithal and the finances to do that. And so that's one thing. Like, when I find somebody good, baby, me and you, like, that's it. Like, we together, we belong together. So um that's it. I was gonna say, if you guys have questions, if you want to come in, if you want to comment, like, you can do all that. I'm taking in people now, but I will be having a Zoom meeting. But period, like, I don't know how else to say it, that and I feel like I'm still going around the bush because I also get tired. But you cannot. You cannot. People say you cannot. And I understand there are crazy things happening in the economy right now. And if I had to come in, and personal opinion, I know nothing. I know nothing. I absolutely know nothing. I would not relocate to Rwanda unless I was on like a retirement income. In fact, like, if I was on retirement income, baby, I would say run your tail over here. It is crazy over there. Run your tail over here. I would. In a heartbeat, I do think that I think my retirees should be here. I think my retirees be here. I personally feel, personal opinion, people can go get mad at me, that I feel as if Rhonda is missing out on an opportunity to advertise itself to retirees who are interested in continent, motherland living. I think Rhonda is one of the better, top three places for a retiree to live. I do. I do. And that is just living. That is not doing business. That is not, trying to do all this other stuff. I think that just if you're retired and you have a retirement income, and let's go, and you know your numbers, you know your numbers, you got to know your numbers. You can't come in and you live making 2,000 and you living on a $1,000 house. Like, you cannot do that. You got to know your numbers. But I do think that um, between climate, between and I know some people. I'm going to try to get my mom to come and talk to y'all. I promise you, I'm trying. She hates being on the camera. But between what do you get for what you pay for, um, the calmness and peaceness of living, the cleanness, um, I think there's enough for you to have like cool, quiet, peaceful days, or like let's go out days. Like, there's so much, there's enough. And then clean air, clean living, and the ability to do, but just hands down, I do. If anybody asks me, I think Rhonda should have, I don't know, like a department. I don't know how they do this. I don't know how they look into people moving here or not, but I do think there should be just a separate department that would be able to look at that and cater to that and say, okay, so what hospitals are best or whatever else like that. Like, what is it that our retirees need? Because this place could definitely, that's just like how a lot of people going to Panama. Like, like I said, I think Rhonda could be right up there with one of the best places to relocate. Could be like there's a couple of things, and that's why if you had like a division or like a government agency for people to be able to use or go to, like that would be like an Alexia. I know I pray for their nerves because, baby, you know the elders. Sometimes you be like, but yeah, and that's not for business, not for anything. I just think that for that retiree population, I think there's a lot to gain out here. There's a lot more that needs to be done, but it wouldn't be hard tweaks. It would not be hard tweaks. Um, hmm I do. I do. Okay, that was it. I went on a tangent. So if there's any questions, I did put a link into the stream. If anybody wanted to click the link and join in, I'm here. But that was it. Like I don't you gotta have money, baby. You gotta have money, moolah, mocha, umbaseo, whatever. You got to have it. You need to have it. And you need to have a steady, steady. Are you ready? Like income coming in. Period. I don't care where you go. Because like people be like, well, I'm gonna go to Gambia or I'm gonna go to such like, dude, you cannot move no place on like a chicken meal, like a 2.99 basket. Like you cannot. That's disrespectful, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, but when I move here, I'm gonna start doing this business. Do you realize businesses take 3 to 5 years just to be successful? Do you realize like that's just that's normal. So you're saying that you're gonna come in and you're gonna start a business and you're gonna be a billionaire off jump. Now, have you calculated cost? Have you calculated what it takes to start that business? Like like every single business starts in such a negative. You don't make money till year three. Like if you are successful, you're recouping your funds. And you don't need to put a price point out on us just so you can turn around and get your money back quick. Like, no, point it properly. Point it properly. Like, do what you're supposed to do. Okay, girl, a tear and a half. Um, wasn't even ready. Okay, and technically, like you match. So the shout outs. Appreciate that. So a tear and a half. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, Thank you so much. Much love to you for that super sticker. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know that the thing was activated. So just thank you. Um, and thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for learning. I'll say this now: like, subscribe, share. Um, hey, and then I was just thank you. Thank you. Like you, girl, you got me. Like thank you. And I thank you so much for being a part of and helping us do what we need to do. So, girl, you got me flustered. I done forgot what we was talking about. So I was be like, so the time route travel of, but I probably have to get on here and tell some funny stories later. Um, I was talking about business. I was talking about like it is so hard. I remember that it's so hard to dream about Africa because you don't want to feel like you're crazy or stupid about it. And it's not something that you often share with people or whatever when you're really serious because it's like you have to plan to make it work. So I'm not here to tell people don't dream. In fact, I want you to dream in color. Like have it in the vision. Like there are so many things. Yes, I have dipped my toe in the lake of Winnetonka, Minnesota, whatever else like that. Like I've done all of those things. Um, and it's beautiful. And I don't want you to be in a situation where Um, if you dream of this, and me and Swat talked about in our video, um, you get out here and you want it, and you can't keep it. You can't keep it. You can't keep it. And that's it. That's so I want you to be able to make sure you make a plan to keep it. Maggie. So I'm gonna say this. I stated my personal opinion. I also have to say I have not done all 54 countries in Africa. Um, but my personal, I still say top five easy, top five easy. But I would say top three. Um, like let me go ahead and get into the controversy. Let me name them, and let me say this: if you're listening later, go ahead and put your stuff in the chat. And if you want to hate me and you want to blast me, you can blast me because I always try not to offend. Like I always try to give information and give enough information for people to learn and do. Okay. Um, and let me say, I don't know a lot about nothing. I don't know a lot about nothing. Okay. Um, so when we go off top, um, what countries? Ghana's going through some economic drama. Ghana is going through some economic drama that I don't know, some people know about, some people don't. It is serious and it's significant. The other piece about it is that to me, Ghana is like your number one place to go. Um, and it's a serious landing ground. But remember, I talked specifically about retired people and um what I feel like there's a lot more ground research when it comes to Ghana than it is to do ground research in Rwanda. And one of the things I feel like for my Rwanda, not my Rwanda, my retired persons is that for a lot of people, they want to come like you've already fought the good fight. You've already done all this other stuff. You're not coming no place to be stressed. You're coming to find your place and everything else like that. So, not saying it's not possible. I'm saying that I just kind of feel like out here it's easier to adjust quicker. And let's just go ahead and call a spade, and let's act like corruption doesn't exist. Um, but I don't think that you came out of retirement to go someplace so you can have somebody in your pocket all the time or corruption or not all of that. So it's kind of like that. But the biggest issue with me right now is that Ghana is throwing me off. God, y'all gonna get me in trouble. I am so confused and conflicted, and I need to step my foot on there. But the economic drama that they're going through, and they literally had up until COVID, the year return, and it is on document that billions of dollars from tourism and everything. Ghana has the tourism numbers that everybody else is fighting for. And if Ghana has the tourism numbers that everybody else is fighting for, why are things still the same? I don't understand. So, and then I also, yeah, like I can't say that. That's part of it. But so that's my biggest one. Um, I don't know enough to say what I want to say about South Africa. I've heard ups and downs and stuff like that. And so, like I said, I can't say anything. I think Gambia is nice, but I don't know enough about Gambia and Visa. I know people over there living and doing things. Um, then, um, I'm literally like going through all the African countries. That's why I said if you wanted to put one in, and I can say what I have to say. I am doing research on two more. I am. There's two more that parked my interest. But when we come down to what I say with Rhonda, Rhonda is trying to do what they need to do with the master plan 2050. And I think I need to do another live on that one. There is a plan for Rhonda to become a middle income to high income place. Period point blank. There is housing at different levels. Um, there are stores in like it is a very modernized build for what they're doing. And so if you're coming in from America, it's not a hard adjustment on living. The cleanliness is just the cleanliness. Um, and they have the retirement visa. If you don't want to go through the retirement visa, they have the class No, they have the V12, which just means that you have to leave every 6 months. Um, they have it takes a little bit to settle in. Takes a little bit to settle in. That's why we have my cousin connection. Um, but I think that it's a lot more like you really can just follow a checklist and you could be okay. And then your struggles are going to be language because while Rhonda speaks English, it's still a language and understanding barrier at times. Your struggles are going to be transportation, which I feel like is almost anywhere. Um, and even though, yes, you can use public transportation, which is the bus, my mama rode the bus, um, you have to understand. Like somebody, my mom was with somebody. You have to understand like where you go and all that stuff. You have to learn those systems. So there is a learning curve. But yeah, I would say, like I said before, and I'm holding myself to that. That I think that Rhonda's missing out on opportunity to promote themselves to African Americans, especially people who are looking to retire on the continent. They have a retirement package that could be a couple of things that need to get fixed, but could be top notch. So that's that answer. Anybody else? And I don't know if I highlighted it. Yeah, top three. Anybody else? It's coming. Yes, it's coming. Ooh, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what's not smart. It's not smart being 45 years old and deciding to put on a hoodie and then turning on this hot light to talk to y'all. Like, it's so many different temperatures that's going on right now in like this little 360 radius. Oh, Jesus. Oops. So, like I said, I'm putting it in one more time. If anybody wants to join in, it's been so long since I've had somebody come in. But if not, I'm gonna go. Like, we're cool. I'm gonna sit here and try to knock out a little bit more work and be what I have to be and do what I have to do. I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you for being a part of this. I thank you for promoting, subscribing, liking, all of those things. If you want to hear me talk about something, put it in the comments. I haven't done what's those things, a morning musing in so long. Um, because I can always tell you how I think about something. Um, and like I said, this is a lot of it's personal opinion, and sometimes my opinion changes. Like I'm learning, I'm a creature of growth. Um, I was gonna say I still do my yoga. I don't do yoga. I'm trying right now. I'm like at once a week. Let's get to 3 times a week. Okay, I feel like this is it because I'm starting to ramble. So I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your thoughts and your prayers. I thank you for your vision and your promise. But I simply just thank you. Bye bye.